in my second year at high school, suddenly now I get exposed to students from other races. Obviously, in this case, not white students, but now Black African students. And so now you're starting to get a different perspective of things. And now you're starting to hear things around real issues that happened. Families were arrested. When, for example, an individual or individuals in a family got arrested, then that family became involved. And family of family, because people then had to go and visit their loved ones in jail. They had to take clothes, they had to take food. And that became a network that they organized around. And now suddenly, people you know of, or right around the corner, live around the corner from you, they are now sitting in jail. And you heard that they were tortured and this had happened and that had happened. So, ultimately, it wasn't about, was he an attraction? It just so happened that the more the state responded in brutality, the more the communities started standing up and up, and then the uprising just became bigger and bigger. Then I think a couple of months later, um, Ashley and Peter Jacobs and another person by the name of Yazid, I'm trying Henry, they call him Mark Henry, that's his legal name, and he's now Yazid. They left the country. And I had knowledge that they were going to leave the country because he had told me, and I saw him on the last day, and we had to organize some things for him and money, and so they could travel and have as far as possible a worry-free journey, because if they stuck, how do they communicate? Those times we didn't have cell phones, so people had to phone and police were listening and all of that. So it wasn't easy for people to phone and say, we need money. How do you transfer? It's like not in the world that we're living in today. So we had that. So then Ash left the country with Peter Jacobs and Mark Henry, Yazid today. And then they left. And then after they had left, um, one of the people that I knew of that was also involved with him, Nicolo Pedro, he then contacted me and then said to me, look, Yasmina, these cells of MK was now disbanded and so on, and that he had known that I always played a supporting role, but I needed to play a more active role now because so many of the people getting arrested and so on. And so he had asked me to assist them wherever I could. And at that point, very soon after Ashley was arrested, I was put in contact by Nicola with Ashley Creel. And then myself, Ashley Creel, and Nicola was then, they would give me certain, tasks to do, and then I would have to be. I was then responsible for maybe transporting some of the ammunition, and um I very rarely speak about this, but things that I remember, they always had this thing that when we were transporting arms, and it wasn't a lot, but I'm just saying that it was always easier for me to be in possession of the things than for any of them. And so one time we were supposed to transport arms from, um, I, I think from Grassy Park somewhere, um, to one of the townships, and then Ashley Creel was in the car driving, and then there was Nicolo Pedro, and I was sitting in the front, and Nicolo Pedro was sitting at the back, and And they had said to me before, when they picked me up, they said to me that, um, they wanted us to go first to a house, and then they prefer that they strap in some way, strap the hand grenades under my clothes, and then so that it's, like underneath the jerseys and the things. So if they stop us, uh, um, and so we did it in a very, you know, I can't even remember quite frankly how it was done, but we had this few around my waist, and then we kind of put it in such a way that it doesn't fall out or anything. And and then we were driving, so we did that somewhere in the Weinberg area, and then we were coming up Witten Road, and there was this blitz in Witten Road. I think it was just past or before the military base or just after them, and there was a blitz. And oh, I start sweating, and I'm like, things we do now. And so there we were now, driving in this roadblock. That was the day they said to me, "You are sitting with that arms, and we're putting you in charge. And if anything happened, you will instruct us what to do," and we do. Because the thing hard is obviously when something like that happens, it's a frightening experience. It's enormous trauma because all you see is you're going to be arrested, and you're going to be arrested with things that's not legal, and the implication of that. And then you also there was the Ashley Krill that was being looked for by the police how long ago, and left the country, gone for military training. And then you have Nicolo Pedro at the back, also been on the run for several months already. So now you have, um, like a situation on your hand. And so I made the decision, and I told him, look, there is a turn which we can take, but then it puts us at an even greater risk because if the police see that, it's very noticeable. They're always expecting that someone that don't have a license or uh, doing something illegal or that's doing something that's not above board is going to take that right. That's why they have it there. They give you that exit almost to do, and then there's police on that side waiting for people who's going to do that. So I made the decision that we're not doing that and we're just going to go through. And I may not have mentioned that, but for me, going through that trauma and um, real, you know, like a frightening experience and starting to break out in a serious sweat and feeling this hot, scared, nervous, very scared um, feeling of now, going to be arrested. I just say to myself, like it's a thing we all do. We appeal to the Lord because, He plays a role in our lives, not as big as He should, but there we have God Almighty, and there's nowhere else. Who do I ask for help? What do I do? And the only thing I could do is I started praying and I said, you know, please just let us get through this because, this is now not a thing that's going to be good for me. So please help us to safety. And so we have a lot of these kind of things that I would do with other people and sometimes on my own, but yet still continuing um, to to do a lot around logistics. Like getting things, buying things, moving things, storing things, getting people houses, like helping with a safe house. And then once the person is in the house, making sure things are paid and there's stuff in the house, like people eat and so it's basic things that once people have been out of the country or were on the run, then it's about their safety And it's about the more you keep them, and it's a terrible thing to keep people so in a house rather than being outside. But the more they go out, the more you risk that they are seen by others and reported to the police. So that is a role I played, which was minimal, but still in the realm that the police consider illegal.